What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Bubba Speed Career Mode in MotoGP 20. And it's time for us to go to Bubba's home track in Circuit of the Americas, which of course is Austin, Texas. Now, he's not from Austin, but you get the picture. It's the only American Grand Prix left. I loved Laguna Seca, so the fact that they replaced that track with this bullshit of a piece of garbage of a track, man, I honestly just hate this one so much, and I never look forward to this Grand Prix, but luckily it comes early on in the calendar, so you don't have to wait too long to get it out of the way. And starting from this video, and I want you guys to let me know in the comments if you prefer it like this or not. I'm going to try out showing you guys a qualifying lap just so you can kind of get an idea of what I do. And of course, blowing the first corner is just kind of typical for me here. I either get it just perfect to the shortest. Wow, I can't even talk right now. I either get it basically perfect or I just completely blow it. And a lot of times I do end up blowing it, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this track, it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just so fucking trash. Honestly, that's the only way I can describe it. It's just, like, there are a few sections of it. Like, this part right here isn't actually that bad. I'm not good at it, but it's actually alright because it is, you know, a lot of just left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. But after this, it just kind of becomes a shit show. And I just don't like it in general. Like, even this first part, like, I don't know. I don't think it's something that can really redeem a track, of course, running really wide there. I have to be pretty hard on the brakes here. My brake timing is still really, really off. And I don't know, like, for me, going from Moto3 to Moto2, where, you know, for the most part, you don't have to hit the brakes too much. And then going to Moto2, where it is a lot more powerful of a bike, I'm still trying to get used to it, especially on a track like this, where, obviously, I hit the brakes way too early there. You know, on a track like this, where it is a very fast track in the sense that it's, you know, a lot of point and shoot and just kind of a lot of straightaways and stuff like that. So I feel like braking points in this in particular are probably going to be, on this type of track in particular, is probably the most important. Now, obviously, I'm having a hard time also with control, and I'm trying traction control 1 right now. I'm still pretty bad when it comes to getting on the throttle softly and not going too hard, so I'm probably going to go and stick with traction control 2 for the race. But I just want to try to give traction control 1 a shot and see what happens. But not really feeling too impressed. Only have a minute left, so more than likely, you know, this is going to be our best lap. Our tires are shot. Don't have really enough fuel to go after with power 2. Just run extremely wide on the final corner, and it was a shit show of a lap. But that doesn't mean it was our worst lap. It was, in fact, our best lap of all qualifying sessions we've done. All free practice, everything. So, not good at all. Obviously, it's still the second race of the championship, so there's really no indication of who's going to be our #1 rival. So, at this point, the important thing is just doing whatever we can as we qualify in 13th, which I guess isn't horrible considering how unconfident I am on this track. But at the same time, you know, our objective for the... You know, our race objective and our qualifying objectives is front row in qualifying, and I think top 3 in the race. So obviously we have a lot of work to do if we're going to be able to keep up with our race expectations. Definitely failed miserably in qualifying, but you know, a race is a different story. If we can go well, if we can get a good start too, you never know. Obviously, in this track, I don't know. I tend to start off really wide in there just because I don't know. I tend to crash a lot whenever I do try to go on the inside. And I do have like a rule to where I won't restart the race if it's after the second lap. If it's in the first lap or something like that and I get crashed out by somebody else, or I crash out in the first corner or something of that nature, then I will restart. But only if it's within the first couple of laps, not later on. I just feel like, you know, if for the sake of the channel, sometimes it is better to do that. So we got ourselves up to 11th position. Can we maintain it? This left hand, you know, if you come out of it right, you're going to be fine. Like, even if you go a little bit wide there, as long as you don't hit the grass, which I did, of course, then you can be fine because, like I said, it's just a very fast point and shoot track with a lot of runoff, so you can kind of cheese your way through it, even though I prefer not to. Obviously, running extremely wide there too, but that's not a big deal. We should be able to get a decent run on Bastianini, and whoever that is in 9th position, it's Luthi, of course, the guy we crashed out in Qatar in the most devastating of fashions, which was just kind of, it was frustrating because obviously I feel like if we hadn't crashed out, then we probably would have won the race. But he had nothing to do with it. It was all my fault. It was all Bubba. As we crash him out again. Thomas fucking Luthi, man. Oh my god, dude. For anybody watching this, I swear to you, I do not do this on purpose. It just happens. It just happens. Oh my God, Thomas Luthi. If this guy somehow watches this series and he watches both races, he's like, oh, I'm probably gonna have to fight him off one day. But I don't know, man. It's just so fucking funny to crash that guy out for no reason. Like, I didn't do it on purpose, but the fact that it happened that way after talking about it, oh man, it was just so fucking funny. All right, so we're 9th position, which I guess is, you know, good considering we started 13th. We haven't gained that many positions. We have gained 4, so you can't really complain too much about that. 9th does give you a few points, so, you know, I think 6 points. So it's not terrible. I mean, it's definitely not terrible, considering this is a track that I despise. Let's see if we can. I would definitely hope for at least a top 5 finish, because I think that's going to be important for the sake of us winning titles. We almost crash out Moto2, take his position. Once again, I did not do it on purpose to bump into him, but thankfully neither one of us crashed, so he's probably going to pass us later down the road anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I think I've said this before, but maybe it was in the video in Valencia, but I don't know. Like, for me, the model of how to win a title isn't necessarily Marc Marquez, because I feel like he's a once-in-a-lifetime talent. Of course, making a huge mistake right there. Him, Valentino Rossi, guys like this, but I think Marquez is definitely superior to Rossi, because Rossi, you know, he had a lot of crazy advantages with the tires and stuff like that. Like, even Nicky was talking about it, and you know, I think it was when he was, what was it? It was maybe his last season in MotoGP. I think it was. He was talking about, you know, they were doing an interview. Maybe it was 2016 actually, in like the 10th anniversary of his championship win, and you know, he was talking about how essentially the biggest difference in that era between winning and losing was simply how you got the tires. Like, nowadays, of course, everybody has the same tires, has the same options, and it's the same for everybody. So it is kind of like, does the bike work with the tires, and vice versa, etc. But back in the day, it was, you know, each rider had his own tires. They had specially built tires, and the only person that had truly specially built tires that were perfect for him was Valentino Rossi. So, and of course, they added a few people here and there as time went on, but still, it was pretty much always Valentino having the special tires over everybody else. So I'm not going to say that Valentino Rossi isn't an amazing rider. I'm not going to say he's not a legend of the sport. I'm just going to say I believe Marc Marquez is more talented than him, because he's also in beating, I believe, more talented riders. When, you know, he destroyed Jorge Lorenzo, he destroyed Valentino, he destroyed Pedrosa, he beat Stoner 1 year. You know, he's or maybe 2 years. You know, we're talking about a guy who I truly believe is going to be the GOAT. I mean, I think he probably already is the GOAT, but he's definitely going to surpass Valentino Rossi's title, his titles. There's just no doubt about it in my mind, and I just believe that Marquez is the GOAT. And you know, like, I don't even know where I was going with that. Honestly have no idea, but the hell am I talking about? Honestly, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I just feel like, you know, Bubba. Sorry, now I remember. Like, talking about the championship. That's right. So I don't believe that necessarily the way you gotta win titles. I can't believe my brain is that mush. But yeah, I don't believe necessarily that the only way to win titles is being a Marc Marquez or Valentino Rossi level rider, or even a Jorge Lorenzo in his prime, or Stoner, where it's win, 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 win. You know, I don't necessarily believe that's the only way. Like, Nicky proved it in 2006 that consistency is also key. Like, if you can consistently be in the podium, you have a great chance of winning titles. I mean, look at Dovizioso too. Unfortunately for Dovizioso, he rides a Ducati, which in a lot of tracks, unfortunately, just doesn't have I don't know, it just doesn't do well. So he has a lot of problems in a lot of tracks. But I feel like if he was on a more consistent bike, in the state of form that he has been in over the last few years, and if he can avoid some bullshit crashes that he ends up having here and there, especially, you know, when I think Iannone had crashed him out a couple times in that year where it came down to the wire with Marquez. I mean, Dovizioso, you know, he's shown that. Like, you can definitely compete if, it's a big if you are extremely consistent and always up there in the top 5, or, you know, obviously, like, that's a worst case scenario, top 5, but a top 3 is kind of like, if you can keep yourself in that top 3, you have a good chance, because people will crash out. It's just a matter of time. People will make mistakes. People will have bad performances. There will be mechanical failures here and there. So as long as you do your job and get yourself in the top 3, you have a chance. And I think that's kind of like the kind of model that I'm looking at, because there are a lot of tracks on the MotoGP calendar that I'm just not good at, including this one. And for me, the main thing is just try to be as consistent as possible. Try to get up there towards the front. And I've said it already, I'm not going to be upset necessarily if we don't win the title in the first season. Because, of course, in Moto3, it took us 2 seasons. Because, yes, we only did 1 in Moto20, MotoGP 20, but we did 1 in MotoGP 19 as well. So Obviously, that's something to take into consideration. But if we do have to do 2 seasons in Moto2, I'm not going to be too upset about it because at least it gives us, you know, we just need to win the championship within 2 seasons. If we don't win in the 2nd season and then we move up to MotoGP, that's fine too. But the important thing is that, you know, we give ourselves a fair shout at winning the title. And 2 seasons is probably fair enough, I would say. But I do believe that once we get to the European tracks that I like a lot, you know, once Jerez comes around, that's where things I think are going to start changing for us. And even Argentina maybe, because I don't remember if you guys remember that, but last year we actually did really well in Argentina. So I feel like that could be a track we can do well on. Or maybe it was in MotoGP 19. And maybe last year we had a problem. I don't remember exactly, but I remember that I have won there once in this series. So I do look forward to getting there. It's a track that I actually do really like. Among all the new ones, I think it's definitely my favorite. No doubt about that. And I do look forward to seeing if we can get another win there. And I guess, yeah, that would be our first win in Moto2 at this point, because it doesn't look like we're actually able to win this one. Having a hard time, but we are in 7th, so that's not terrible. 7th isn't bad. I would probably sign the dotted line at the start of the race if I could finish 7th. I would prefer, like I said, a top 5. Obviously, any position we can get, even if it's 6th, I wouldn't be upset about that at all. But realistically, man, like considering the hard time we're having, I couldn't complain too much about 7th either. Even 8th, I guess, wouldn't be horrible. See if we can get past Garza. We just need to try to have a good final lap. Starting to slide a lot, obviously in traction 2. Trying to avoid penalties. That's kind of the most important thing for me. As cutting this corner way, yeah, there you go, penalty. As soon as I said it, yeah, it was just coming. I don't know, like I just don't understand how that can possibly give me a 0.3 penalty. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And of course, in Moto2, that could be extremely costly because we're all bunched up for the most part. So, you know, sixth position, we have to pull away a bit in order to secure it. So we're gonna have to have a good last lap, and hopefully that will be the case. As we just have a huge mistake. Also have a little bit of a bobble. Made a huge mistake there. All right, so final lap. Martin is in front of us, as well as Garzo. So those are gonna be our 2 guys. We have to finish at least 0.314 in front of them. Might be more penalties. I don't know. Hector Garzo crashes. It looks like he's crashed. All right, so at least there's one of those guys out of the picture. That's, of course, never celebrate in real life for somebody crashing unless it's, you know, a title for the title or something like that, like Valentino in Valencia or something. But you know, in a video game, whatever. Nobody's gonna die, so who cares? That's good news because it gives us a little bit of room. Because look at the HUD on the bottom left. There's a lot of guys. As we somehow get another, we're up to over half a second of a penalty now. Just complete and utter bullshit. I don't know how in the hell that's possible, but all right, whatever. Got another one there, I guarantee it. There you go, 0.8. Just excellent performing. High quality penalty getting. Start calling us Pinubba or something like that. Alright, see if we can at least get this corner right. We do not. We absolutely do not. We're going to get a terrible drive. Good chance we're going to get drafted by 2 or 3 guys. Luckily, with this bike, we're pretty solid. As in, we have top speed down. We definitely don't have a power disadvantage to anybody, I would say. And as we build up the bike, we should be better and better. And one thing I do want you guys to let me know in the comments is, do we carry over bike developments season into season? So like next season, if we're in Moto2 with the same team, do our bike developments carry over? I doubt it, but you know, let me know if you do, if it is the case, because that'd be extremely helpful as we go into the last 5 or 6 corners. See if we can actually get up to Schroeder, or at least try to extend our lead a little bit. I know we're definitely fast in this last sector, at least usually we are, because this turn right here, this one right here on this right-hander, it's long and it's looping, and a lot of times they go way slower than us. I think we came out of it kind of good. I mean, let's look how much we gained on Schroeder. Ran wide here. Our rear tire, it doesn't look like it, but it's definitely starting to struggle. We've pulled away quite a bit as we do okay in the... man, we wobbled way too much. That's going to cost us a lot coming out of the corner. Hopefully, like it's a bad performance, but hopefully we're far enough to at least get 6. There you go, 6th position. All right, not bad. Oh, look at that. Wait, is that plus 3? Were we only 4 thousandths in front of Martin, or is that how far? No, he definitely wasn't 3.6 behind us. Yeah, I think it was that close, man. That close. We're now 6th in the league. In the league, I almost said, in the championship. We are 17 points back, so we're still in it. We're definitely still in it. Schroeder, I don't believe is going to win the championship. There's just no way in hell. I'm not going to let that happen. I don't know who he is, but it's not going to happen. Obviously, Sky Racing Team is up front. This guy, okay. All right, I see you. But yeah, I'm feeling confident, guys. Like, now we're going into the tracks that I like. I'm definitely feeling confident about that. We got Argentina, then Jerez, then Le Mans, then I think Mugello, then maybe Sachsenring. So yeah, or maybe Catalunya, then Sachsenring. All I know is, guys, we're starting to get to the tracks that I really like, and I'm feeling very confident. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you please, the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and as I said, let me know in the comments if you have any tips and tricks and any recommendations for the future of this series, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.